Welcome to the Josef Coomer podcast. Today I have an amazing guest for you, Josef Koeberl. And at the time of recording, Josef held the world record for the longest submersion in ice at 2 hours, 30 minutes, 58 seconds. Just to show you how amazing of a world we live in right now, literally just 2 days ago, okay, so just maybe 3 days after our interview, this record was broken by a French man named Romain Vanderdorp, and he's actually beaten Josef's record, and he was in an ice bath or a full ice submersion for 2 hours, 35 minutes, and 43 seconds. And so this is an ongoing thing. However, Josef did sit in ice submersion for over two and a half hours, and that's no small feat. And he does actually. You're going to hear on this podcast. He announced for the first time his next goal as far as breaking the world record again. So this record is something that we're following on this podcast and on my YouTube channel. And I'm really excited to see how far human beings can go. So this interview, we focus on how you can train in the cold, how Josef trained in the cold. Josef's just a really great guy, by the way. So I'm really cheering you on, Josef, for whenever you plan to break that world record again. I believe it was in June. Guys, before we start the show, take a look in the show notes on YouTube and on all the show notes. For discounts on products from KION, just use Coomer. Anytime you go to KION for any kind of products, personally, I'm taking fish oils and colostrum. I take that daily. I want to boost my immune system, of course, brain health, heart health, anti-inflammation, all the beautiful, wonderful things that fish oils can help me with, but also colostrum to boost my growth hormone and to improve my immune system. And I cycle on and off of that depending on what time of year it is. Right now, I'm taking both of those. In the summertime, I will switch down to just taking fish oils. Guys, also, if you haven't joined the Patreon club, it's a breathwork club with guided breathwork sessions that basically you get 3 new breathwork sessions every month. But as soon as you join, you get access to all of the sessions that I've added over all the months. And we've been going since March of 2020. So there's a large library of long, short, all kinds of different focuses. Every kind of breath work you can think of is pretty much already there, but I add to it every single month. And you get access for that for as little as $5 a month. So check that out as well. Guys, I'm really excited to introduce to you Josef Koeberl, my interview with him. I gotta say, I was a bit starstruck. I've been following him for quite some time, and whenever I reached out to him, he was more than happy to talk to me on this show. So it's a great interview. We have a lot of fun. Here's Josef Koeberl. See here. Welcome to the Midwest. My name is Jesse, and I'm really, really excited today to have the current world record holder, Josef Koeberl. Is it Koeberl?
Koeberl.
Koeberl. Thank you so much. I should have asked you that before we started. But Josef Koeberl, he sat in 400 pounds of ice. He is the current world record holder for ice bathing. He sat in a chamber, straight, just 400 pounds of ice directly onto his skin for 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 53 seconds. And I got to say, Josef, I watched some of this video of you breaking the world record in just sheer astonishment and just really cheering you on. And to my great surprise, I do believe you had ice cream as your victory dinner. I mean, you got out of that ice bath and you got into, and then you ate an ice cream cone. So I've been admiring you from afar, just really following, you just kind of blew up on my map. I was like, whoa, who's this guy? And I know my audience, we are really into cold training, and trying to push the body, but, doing things, obviously trying not to cause ourselves harm, and, try not to push ourselves so hard that we don't get those health benefits. And so we're really interested in finding out more. And the big thing is, anytime I talk to a person who's into cold training, it is always interesting to find out how they got into it in the first place. So what got you started with all of this cold training?
So at first, hello from Vienna, Austria. Nice to be in your podcast. Thank you. And don't be scared. I'm also like to joking, and the thing with the ice cream afterwards. So that's me. That's correct.
Oh, yeah. I like you already, Joseph.
But you didn't see it because before I had the ice cream, I got a small beer. So
Okay. You're
okay.
my kind of guy. I like you more and more. Oh
Okay,
my
why,
God.
why I'm in the ice, or why I'm doing that all with the cold?
Yeah.
So I grew up in a normal farmhouse in the middle of Austria in the mountains, and yeah, we had an old house, and so the rooms were cold, so there were no heat inside. So yeah, but
Yeah.
that was my childhood and my younger season, and afterwards I was doing a lot of sport, different kind, track running and so on. And then I stopped that all and I did nothing. And once a day I saw in a in a newspaper in my home village, yeah, they want to swim the first time. They had a race in a lake. It's the
Hmm.
Lake Hallstättersee,
Yeah.
and it's about 9K long.
Okay.
And I did it with 3 weeks training with a wetsuit for sure. The
Okay.
water temperature was very cold,
Hmm.
about 12 to 14 Celsius.
Okay.
And yes, I did it. And when I went out of the water, my sister was next to it, and I said to her, "When that's so easy, then I will swim the English Channel too. Could not be a
Oh,
problem. Could not
okay.
be a problem." So that was my first race. All the old swimmer and the crazy good guys, and
Uh-huh.
said, "Is he completely crazy?
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
this his first race, and he want to swim the next is the English Channel?" So yeah, and so afterwards, I thought what I have to do for training to do that goal.
Yeah.
And the friends of mine said, "Okay, you had to go in the cold water." Uh,
Okay.
then I started 2 years afterwards to go in the cold, and I stand in the cold water, and I thought, only standing in water, that could not be the right thing. I think
Uh-huh.
because I had to swim the English Channel, I had to swim. So
Sure. Sure.
I started to swim and did it the whole winter. And in my first season, I did the ice mile, and
So,
then I
quick
yeah.
question. It's a lot of ice swimmers that I know start that way, where it's not
Yeah.
like you started with cold showers and slowly worked your way.
No.
You just said, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and jump
Mhm,
in. And
mhm.
so when you first started, did you get into the water and just sit there and then you're like, I think I should swim, or did you just say, let's just go ahead and start swimming in cold water?
The first time I went in and I was standing inside, and I looked around and I didn't know what I have to do. Only to stand in, it was very boring, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I thought that my goal is to swim 34K, and I had to do something here.
Sure.
Yeah, and I started to swim, and it was uh, the best choice and the best thing I ever did. It changed completely my life,
Yeah.
completely.
That's
If you
beautiful. So
told me that I had to stand in an ice box for 2.5 hours, 2010, I thought you are completely crazy.
So how did you get? Yeah, exactly. How did you get from okay, I'm going to start swimming now? I will say, you did, pardon the pun, you really jumped in head first, right? You really did get into ice. Ice swimming is something, that's pretty serious right off from the beginning.
Mm,
And so you started ice swimming and you swam the channel,
mm.
and then what happened next? How did that eventually lead you to
Okay.
an ice box?
Yeah, that was a long way normally, and I was then the founder of the Austrian Ice Swimming Association, and so I started that all in Austria, and I trained a lot of people. I trained until today 3,500 people to go in cold water,
Whoa. So
and
you started an actual cold water club.
yes.
And how did that go? Did people think you were crazy? It's like, you know,
We had a few people in Austria who did that longer than me, but
okay.
they are not they were not organized, and
All
I
right.
put them all together and organized them, and but first time we were only 5 to 10 people, and now we are on the training on Sunday.
Hmm.
There are sometimes 100 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's very it's crazy. It's really crazy
That's
from
all.
0 to 100.
And
It's really
what
crazy.
kind of things do you guys get together to do? Do you go on a swim together, like a few kilometers
Yeah.
or?
No, a few people are only standing inside. There are some Wim Hof guys.
Uh-huh.
They came and you can do what you ever want. Come on with us. The only thing which I'm not happy when they do the very strong breathing before they went into the water,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
it's a thing that when I'm responsible for them all, I want not that they will collapse in the water and so on. So
So yeah, that's
for
one of
me,
the
it's
things. Yeah. A
they
lot of
they do
times.
they do it not in Wim Hof's thing. I think
Mhm.
they saw a video and did anything. I think, yeah, few
We have
times it's like that.
a lot of that. Yeah. So a lot of
Mm,
times a person will make a video, put it online, well-meaning, trying to help other people probably, but yeah, it gets a lot of people doing the wrong things. Now
mm,
when it comes to how you approach the water with your ice swimming club, do most people
mm.
just kind of walk in and just do it that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the first step.
Hmm.
First step to walk in to feel the cold, and we are starting with in end of September, starting October. So when the temperature has about 15 or 16 degree.
Okay.
So that's important because it's not good when you start with 1 degree. So
No.
going with the temperature, it's perfect for also for a swimmer.
Yeah.
It's going, the body knows, okay, every day it's a little bit colder, and that's good for your body and also for your mind. You have goals. When you start with 1 degree, what goal will you have?
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 1 degree.
It's
But when
already
you have
there.
14, 15 degrees, so you have 50 goals, so yeah, until
You
zero.
know, yeah, you know there's more that's going to come,
Yeah.
and you don't really get to set the temperature. Nature sets the temperature for you, so you
Yeah.
kind of have to say, well,
Mhm.
whatever we're doing
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. That's a good thing. Yes, that the nature is the boss here,
Yeah.
and not we. And yeah, a lot of people had to learn to hear in their body and feel what happened. A lot of people came and say, "Ah, I had to jump in," or "Isn't that so?" No, I said, slowly, feel it. Your skin has 36 degree, and the water is now on 5 or 6 degrees. So
Right.
give your skin time to cool down and
Hmm.
feel what happened. That's very important. And then you can stand longer inside than when you jump in.
So my
Also,
listeners right now, their ears just lit up and they're saying, okay, I can stay in longer. So
mhm.
what you would recommend is just to kind of slowly walk in to the water.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
jump in.
yeah,
Don't,
no, yeah.
nothing crazy, just kind of slowly
Mhm.
in a relaxed
Yeah.
way.
Don't warm up before, only
Right.
a little bit your ankles and so, but not much, because when your pulse is going up, so
Mm-hmm.
also your heart rate goes up and
Mm-hmm.
your skin opened, and that's bad. That's bad. So
Yeah.
I'm always coming in winter with short trousers and
Yes.
with not too much, wear not much, so that the skin is cold when I'm coming. So I had no problem when I'm going in. I have no pain. Um,
Yeah, we close up, we allow those capillaries to close up slowly
yeah,
to
yeah,
keep that cold out of the core. And then
yes,
yeah, I and that is the thing about the pain that comes with the cold. Of course,
mhm,
that initial
yeah,
shock is those little guys that are trying to
mhm,
close. So your recommendation is let it happen slowly, just be
mhm.
relaxed.
Yes. And if you cannot walk in because it's too hard for you, then go out, wait a little, and try again easily. No hurry, no stress.
Hmm.
Let it down. It's like a therapy for your brain and for your mind
Oh yeah.
to work with the cold and play with it, play with the cold and feel it. And you can get so much emotion and I love it. So,
I love what you're saying about that. It is a kind of a therapy for
mm,
me. I know that, and I recently I've gotten the pleasure of talking to Kath Pendleton a couple times. She's the first woman to, or first person to swim an ice mile in the Antarctic Circle,
mhm.
and she talks about, a lot of people do yoga, a lot of people do meditation or whatever, but for her, she just
Yeah.
goes and and just
Mm,
jumps in the water. And I've always said that it's a little bit like a forced, you're kind of a forced meditation where you
mm,
really center, you're really in the now, you're really in that present moment. And and I find that little things in life that normally would bug me, they don't bother me quite so much now.
mm,
It's like you're training yourself with that stressor.
mm.
Is that how it works for you? Or when you say therapy, what do you mean?
Therapy, it's you have stress in your work, you have stress with the family or so on. And when you go to do the ice swimming on Sunday in Austria, we have always ice swim training, and when you come, you let that all behind you,
Mm,
and you put off your clothes, go to the water, we speak a little bit, and then this is your moment. Nothing else will happen. So you can lose every negative thing what's in your mind, and you walk in, relax, feel that what happened, and you're free in that moment. You're really free. Then when you're doing a little swim, so you can walk around, you can see the mountains, or if we do it in the night by full moon,
mm,
the people can see the stars. They can see the moon and everything around. It's perfect. And when we have snow in the night, you see the little stars on the snow, and it's a very quiet and emotional moment when you're there in the cold, and
there
it's
is
your
a
moment.
Yeah, there is
Mm,
that emotional release.
mm,
And I've trained a lot of people in cold exposures, not as many as you. And my friend, you have the credential. But whenever I take groups out and we do, getting into a stream or
mm,
a lake or some kind of a natural pool of water, like you said, there's a. I think it's funny how quiet the world gets,
mm,
and you can look around and there, on the one hand, you're in the cold, and so your heart sort of wants to race, right? And there's a certain degree of stressor that you need to kind of suppress and relax into. But if you can do that, wow, you can look
mm.
around. And I've had many people, after having a nice cold exposure, um, break down and cry, tears of joy. They feel like they've gotten through some kind of even sometimes
Yeah.
a psychological release. Um,
I
I,
like to hug people afterwards. I like to hug them.
you like to,
That's for me emotional. Yeah, I like to hug.
it's it's this. I love it's this big change of warm and cold, right? A good cold
Mm.
hug, just
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
You've got the skin is still pretty cold,
mm,
right? And then
yeah,
and then you've got this warmth. It is a perfect time. It's a perfect time
yeah.
for a hug. Um,
Yesterday I was in a TV show in the afternoon, and
okay.
so it's normally a funny show. It's the title is Welcome Austria, so it's a satiric thing, really
Okay.
funny.
Yeah.
And so at the moment we have a bad Corona thing here, and
Mm.
we could not have people who are watching that in the show.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the space behind the floor is is completely empty,
Mm.
and so they say to the people, please come and do something there. So, and I wrote them, and I will come, but I
Oh,
will sit
neat.
in an ice bath. I will sit there, and I put there and had about 250 pounds of ice there, and I laid in, and I was in for 1 hour 45 minutes yesterday. And normally you can let out the water, so but
Yeah.
it all melt. A lot of ice,
Oh,
and it was ice water, so the water has 0 degree inside,
yes.
and the ice cubes were inside, and it was very cold,
Oh,
really,
I
really, really cold.
really, yeah. Now, when you did your record, that was, and I still want to get back to a little bit more of your story, but I can't help myself, Joseph. I
Yeah,
have
for
to.
sure.
These questions are on the top of my head. Now, when you did your record, I saw. I mean, it was blocks of. I mean, it was chunks of ice, right? Ice
Hmm.
cubes,
Hmm.
and did over 2.5 hours. It had to start to melt quite a
Yeah, yeah.
bit.
And we put 200 kilogram, so about um, 70
For
pounds, uh,
okay.
40, 60 pounds um, uh, to it into the box again.
Oh,
So
okay.
because a lot of was melting, and the water runs down on the floor. So
Okay, so it drains out. So you didn't
yeah,
have to
yeah, it drains out.
have the water filling up.
Yes, yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it's more challenging if for instance, like you said, with that water, if that water would have
Mhm.
stayed in, it would have been
Yeah,
more challenging probably, right?
yeah, for sure, yeah, for sure.
Because you just have all of that skin surface that's
Mm.
being touched.
Yeah,
So
but I could stand, I could lie in that water, I think, for more than 2 hours. Yes,
I'm sure you
but
could.
then it's not so comfortable. So
It's not as comfortable, but
yeah, for
but
sure.
so so you started a cold swimming society or a kind of a club where you guys
Yeah.
go out you every
Mm.
Sunday you get in the water. Now, how
Yeah.
long ago was that? What do you remember what year that was?
Yeah, we started in 2014
Okay.
with that club, and officially we were founded in 2015. So it was a few months before I was swimming the English Channel.
Okay. And when you
So
swam the
now
English
this,
Channel,
yes,
was it was
2015.
it
Yeah.
was 2015 and you
Mm.
now was that with a wetsuit or that was probably by that time you
It was
were
without it was
yeah.
without wetsuit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So I
of
changed
course.
my completely.
And so at some point you had to realize, wow, I'm doing something that most people, I don't know how it is in Austria. Maybe in Austria, you guys, maybe lots of people ice bathe, but in the United.
Everyone is doing that.
Oh, really?
No,
It's
no,
okay.
no,
Because here in the United, I'll just come over. I just expect that when I arrive, everyone's in an ice bath. But here in the United States, I live in the middle of the United States,
no.
and most people, especially when they first started noticing that I was walking outside in the
Hmm.
snow and just my shorts and taking ice baths, and it was like, okay, Jesse, you're just being crazy, and
Hmm.
or you're trying to show off or do something ridiculous.
Hmm.
Most people don't see any kind of value in getting into the
Hmm.
cold or any
Hmm.
desire of getting into the cold.
Yeah.
So at what point did
Mm.
you say, hey, I'm actually pretty good at this, I'm going to see how far I
Mm.
can push it?
I saw that in my first winter.
Yeah.
When I trained, then I saw, okay, I can swim, and then I trained harder, and I focused on two goals in
Hmm.
that winter. So my first goal was the World Championships in winter swimming in Rovaniemi, Finland,
Okay.
and the second was I do the ice mile as the
Yeah.
first German speaker, um, because there was a woman who did that. There was Sabrina Wiedmer. She was from Switzerland, and she lives in Ireland. But there was no man, and I could not speak with anyone who did that before. So it was special for me, and I saw, okay, set the goal, and you will do it. And
Yeah.
I was then in a Czech club, and I was, because they have a competition. They have 20 races in the whole winter. Every Saturday there is a race in Czechoslovakia,
Hmm.
and I was there, and I saw they are so familiar. they're so friendly, the Czech,
Oh, I love it.
and they
Yeah.
helped me so much, and I learned a lot of that from them. And they saw there is a guy. He started with us. He had his first race. I had the first race in Czech, and they saw, okay, this guy is special. He will do something what we can't do, because I started with 1K there. So normally in Czech Republic, it's so that you're allowed to start by 250-meter,
Oh,
and then
okay.
500, and then you can swim 1,000.
Yes.
And I was writing them, and I asked them if I can swim the 250, the 500, and the 1K. They said, oh,
Just
that's
do
not,
all of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not allowed, because the 500 are in the race of the 1K, so that's not possible. And they thought, what's that for a crazy guy? And afterwards they saw, okay, this guy is different to all the others here. And I also recognized that I had a special agreement with the code.
Yes, I like how
Mm.
you say that. A special agreement with the code. Yeah. So you have you've been training in the ice. You've been swimming a lot in just nature. What is what is your regular training schedule, maybe? And at what point did you decide, I wonder if I could break the world record
Mm.
for cold exposure?
Okay, but my goal was never break the world record.
Okay, you
So
never had that as a
uh,
goal.
no, I saw the goals, yes, which I saw the goals, or the world records which the other had.
Uh-huh.
Also, the Chinese guy, Xing Hao Jin,
Right. Yeah.
I saw that, and I was very confused, because I saw it in the internet. When he finished the world record, he was crying, he was
Oh,
screaming, and
yeah.
then I said, wow, that must be very hard.
Seemed, yeah, just
Fuck, yes.
excruciating. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
would always shiver a lot too. And I
yeah,
always noticed anytime I watched him, he was constantly like,
yeah.
really, really shivering.
Crazy, yeah. And I, if I started with that, looking on that world record, because also in the ice cubes, um, a woman, he had a TV show in Austria,
Mhm.
and she wanted that I'm come to speak about the ice and so on. And I said, no, I will not come. This is not my thing to sit there, and that's not nice. And the next year she asked me, please come to this TV show and so on. I said, no. And then she
Mm.
asked me, what should she do that I'm coming? I said,
There
huh,
you go.
there are a
Yeah.
lot of things you can do, but
Yeah.
the interesting one is, yeah, put a bath there, fill it with ice, and I will sit
Yes.
in the whole show. I will sit there the whole show long. And she said, really? You will do that? And I said, yeah, I try. I never did it. I try. And the
First
TV
time
show
on
was,
television. Let's do it on
yeah,
television the first
yeah,
time. Yeah.
yeah. And I did it for 1 hour and 10 minutes. And I said, okay, that's a
Yeah.
long time. And I had no problem when I walked out. I could do more. And then I watched what's on in the world record, in the Guinness Book, and so on.
Yeah.
And I saw Wim Hof's thing. I
Right.
heard before, yes, but I didn't
Sure.
know that he did 1 hour 53 or so. That I
Right.
didn't know. And then I saw, okay, he's no more the world record holder. It's Song Hao Jin, and I didn't know this man. Yes, and then I thought, okay, they did 1 hour 54 minutes.
Wim. Yeah.
But I think I will do a new step. I will do more than 2 hours. That's a good goal, and I will lay the focus on the 2 hours. And then I I did more than 2 hours, but I want to stop afterwards, but we can't open the doors, and so I had
You were
to.
trapped.
Yeah, and when we had 2 hours 5 minutes, I said,
Yeah.
so okay, it's enough. So I will go out when I had
Right.
2 hours 5 minutes, and then I couldn't open the door. So it took 3 more minutes that they opened the door.
Oh my God.
But it wasn't a problem. So I could do more. I know I could do, but the journalists are very they're nervous. He said he will do
Yeah.
2 hours, and then he said, "Oh, 1 minute more and 1 minute more," and then okay, we stopped. I will do it another time. And when I
Sure.
walked out, I said, "Okay, next time I will do 2 hours 30."
But you walked
So
out of that. You walked out of a over 2 hour direct ice to skin exposure,
Yeah.
and you didn't have any kind of negative side effects. Like one of the things that oftentimes I will have if I push myself
Mhm.
is, uh, you might some people call it after drop.
Mhm.
It's the mild, it's not hypothermia, but it's your core body
Shivering.
temperature. Yeah, your core body
Mhm.
temperature goes down. Maybe it's a little bit below what is, I think 37 is regular body temperature in Celsius.
Mhm.
So it
Mhm.
maybe dips just a fraction of
Mhm.
just a little bit, but you feel it because your core body
Mhm.
temperature has been affected. And,
Mhm.
that can happen a lot of times whenever a person's training.
Mhm.
And you sat in this ice box without having any of
Mhm.
that, or?
Yeah, but, I was swimming the North Channel, and
Yeah.
when I went out of the North Channel, that's between Ireland and Scotland, and the water temperatures there 13 degree, and we had 35 K to swim.
Yeah.
And when I walked out, I couldn't finish. I'm sorry. I had 7 kilometers to go, but I couldn't because the currents are too strong and the waves and so on, and I had to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And I swallowed a capsule which measured the body temperature,
Oh,
and I had afterwards on the boat 32 degree. So
so
I
you
know
were,
what, yeah, I know what
wow.
what what happened when you have 32 degree.
Yeah.
So I'm shivering, strong.
Yeah.
But
That's,
okay. When I had my first ice mile,
yeah.
the doctor decided that I had 27 degree.
You had
Um,
27-degree
yeah,
core body temperature.
cold body chain.
Now,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
did you feel at that point?
Yeah, I had to go into the hospital.
Okay, good.
No, it
I
was
was gonna say, Joseph, I was just really gonna start to feel bad about myself because that is extremely low.
yeah.
Okay,
And it was my
you are a
first real
human after
contact.
all. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
But so it wasn't that bad, but the people all around, they were very afraid that something could happen with me.
Yeah.
So okay, we said okay, to look what happened with the body, I will go into the hospital, and yeah, and then everything was okay. I had no problem. But yeah.
So for the average person, just if you're watching or listening, the average person, if your core body temperature is at 27 Celsius, you're probably going to be delirious,
Mm,
uh, just have no energy,
mm,
completely miserable, and
mm.
probably die if you don't go to the hospital. I mean, that's hypothermia. And
Yeah, I
so,
had that. I had that. I couldn't see all the things around me, so
okay.
I was like in a tunnel. I was in a
Yes.
tunnel, and I didn't know where I am. I
Yeah.
didn't know how long I had to swim. So, and I had a manager on the boat, and we had not a good relationship. It was a bad
Uh,
situation between,
yeah.
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 And she said, "Yeah, you have done it." Yeah, and I thought, no, when she will say I have done it, then something is wrong. And I was
Oh
swimming
no.
on and on and on and on. Normally, the Iceman is 1,609 meters, and
Yeah.
I did 1,870. So a little bit more
A
because
little.
I didn't trust her. I didn't trust
Oh,
her. So yeah,
oh, that. So it got you a little in trouble. That friction.
yeah,
Only. So the moral of the story is only go with people you trust when you're swimming in the
yeah,
ice.
for sure. Yeah.
You felt, you've had the after drop, the
Mm,
hypothermia. You've gone through that. Is that
very
something
strong.
that of course, how it works for me is that there will be some days when I can stay in the cold. It seems like forever. And, I'm
Mm,
listening to that. I call it the inner voice, something there's going to be a time when I'm like, okay, I need to get out of the cold.
mm.
But there's some days I can go for a long time and other days just not so much. Do you have that sort of thing happen to you? Or is it most of the time just bring on the cold all day
Oh
long?
no, no. That's I have also. So it looks like a little bit different to normal guys. So, but in the beginning, it was the same like that.
Yeah.
Today it is okay. Will I swim more than 2K, or
Hmm.
should I swim only 800?
Okay.
So,
So when
but
you
I
were,
listened also to my body and said, okay, today it's not good to swim more
mm-hmm.
because I don't know. I feel not such strong, but now when I'm going for a swim. today I will all day do an ice mile. So without doctor, without the boat, and only with the bow and with me. So
Yeah.
mostly I swim more than 2K every day.
Okay. And you do that every day. Do you
Not
find that um, I, when it comes to your training, whenever you were early on, did you find that okay, I need to make sure not to overdo it. I need to make sure to train pretty consistently. Did you have a specific regimen that you followed whenever you were trying to become a little bit more, I guess, hardened to the cold?
I also do technique training, swim
Mhm.
technique training in the cold. Every trainer said that's not possible. But I'm typical different to all the others. I do also swim with paddles in the cold or with pool boy and so on. So I do that in the cold. So I have a distance of 150 meters, and I do that quite a lot of times. And sometimes I do when I feel okay, today is not my day, so I'm doing only a shorter thing. But then I
Okay.
see, okay, that was a good thing because next day when I swim, I could do better and faster and stronger. So important is to know that when you do less, it's often better. So days which you're off, they're really good days because
Yeah.
you can collect all the energy again
Yeah.
from anywhere you can get, and you will stronger afterwards. You
It
will be
in
stronger next day.
it's something that I don't know. I know that for myself, oftentimes I push myself on those days when I probably shouldn't, and I do
Mm-hmm.
pay for it sometimes. I really, a person. I really did learn the value of taking a day off, even sometimes just saying, okay, maybe I'll just have a little cold shower or just not even have any cold that day. And then, like you say, the next day is all the better. And so what you did over the course of, I mean, you got into the cold pretty quickly. I mean, when it comes to uh, cold training, ice water swimming is pretty hardcore. And now, do you feel like it's easier to swim in the cold as far as keeping your body temperature up than it is to get into an ice bath and just sit there?
Yeah, for sure. That's true. You can swim longer than sit in the water and do nothing.
Yeah.
That's true. But afterwards, you had to. It's very dangerous to find the right speed when swimming
Hmm.
and the distance. So you had to do steps, go forward. So I trained that all with my people there, and say then, okay, it's not good to swim an ice mile in November. It's better to swim it in January or March. So you have the whole winter to train and
Hmm.
do it step by step. I had a French guy, Jose. He he wanted to swim the ice mile last year, and I said, "Oh, it's not time for you. It's not time. You will see." And it was a good decision that he was waiting one season, and this year he made a step forward.
Mm.
So, and the Czech guy learned me that some people will never are never able to swim an ice mile. That's their
So,
physical problem and with their and a mind problem. And some can do it in the first season, but
yeah.
everyone had to listen on your body and watch when you have anywhere a guy who is teaching you. Listen to him.
Mm.
He will be mostly right, and take time for that all. Um, Rome wouldn't be built in one day or
That's
so.
right. That's right. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
So I have a question that you kind of bring it up when it comes to our limits, our physiological, our biological limits, our
Hmm.
mental limits. Um, do you think that what you're capable of doing, do you think you maybe you have like some kind of maybe a physiological, it's just you're predisposed
Hmm.
more likely to be in the cold than the average person? Or is it just something that you think um, anybody can train the same way that you trained and get similar results? Or what would you
Um,
say?
I will not say everybody can do it, but
Hmm.
I think a lot of people can do it.
Hmm.
And Wim Hof was writing me after my first world record,
Oh, nice.
and he he said that it was only a question when anybody will do a new world record, a new dimension on time or something. It was only, and I felt very excited that he says so comfortable words and nice words. Um, a lot of Wim Hof fans were not in that way.
Oh
They
yeah.
were sometimes very unfriendly to me. But
Oh no,
doesn't
that's
yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah. But that's life. That's life.
Well, I think sometimes people they become a fan, and then I don't know, it's hard for people to root for somebody else. But I was just, I've been a Wim Hof method practitioner, and of course I have, go to Poland and teach with Wim and things like that. But
Mm,
man, when I found out that you broke the record, man, I was really excited because I mean, it just shows, whoa, here's this other guy, 2.5 hours. It just blew my mind. And to me, it's just amazing to see what the human body is capable
mm,
of doing,
mm.
and the mind. Do you have any mental tricks or I hope I don't want to call them tricks because that sounds like something, I don't know, like a cheap, but
A few methods.
yeah. Do you have any
Yeah, but I only
tips?
will tell you. I only will tell you. So the
Yeah,
others had to.
good. I won't tell. No one will know. No, no.
Yeah. Okay.
just
Okay.
just between me and you.
Okay. So I'm doing that with emotions. So you have pain, and when you're sitting in the ice, so it's not always the same average of pain. So it comes in waves. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
going very fluently, very good. You lay in the ice or standing in the ice, and everything is okay. And then something is coming. The cold is coming. You're starting to shivering, and the pain is strong, and so on. And you feel, oh fuck, I want
Right.
out also.
Yeah.
And yeah, but you can train a little bit on that, and I do that with emotions. So
Yeah. How
I'm
do you do
doing
that?
that with an anchor.
Okay.
When I did a very strong training, and afterwards I had that big emotion because I did that, and you get very happy about
Oh
that, and you
yeah.
can feel that. You can feel that very emotionally, and
Uh-huh.
then put your needle on your finger tip and
Okay.
save that emotion in your brain. And in each training you do that, and you had then a bank or a conto full of emotions. So also when my daughters were born, so that
Yeah.
feeling when you have it in the first time in your arms, that is such emotional. And when you have that pain, when the pain wave is coming, and you put that out of the box, that emotion, then you feel good, you feel strong, you feel what at that moment have when you had that big emotion in your training or with your daughter when they were born, and you go over that point, over that pain, you
S-
go concrete completely over that, and that
Okay.
makes you stronger, and then the pain goes down, and you're waiting to the next. You're waiting to the next. You feel good.
Okay.
I had a headset on my head, and I was speaking with the people. Then
I saw.
I thought, oh, okay, the wave is coming, so
Okay.
I had to breathe a little bit stronger. So,
Hmm.
but not go that the pulse is going up. So, but
Yeah.
stronger, more breath. You
Hmm.
need it for the shivering and for the energy of thinking and so on. And then put something out. Okay, this is a good emotion for that situation, and then it works.
That's beautiful.
So that's one of the tricks.
So so you think about a good feeling, a good
Yeah,
time, and you feel that
very.
feeling
Yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah.
Now that takes, I love that. That takes a very strong ability to focus on a good feeling.
Hmm, hmm.
So that is something that, it can't just be, oh yeah, I won the medal, or my daughter was born, my son was born, or whatever. You've got to really put yourself there.
Yeah, into that emotion. You had to go into that moment when you
Yeah.
did that. You should see that in your brain when
Yeah.
you got your baby on your arms, and then you feel that full emotion, very deep.
Joseph, whenever I'm about to turn 40. So
Hmm,
in the 90s, we had a lot of people talking about going to your happy place here in the United States.
hmm,
I don't know if that's something that
hmm.
went worldwide, but it was a way of a method of coping with the stressors of life. And it even made it into, I'm pretty sure it made it into, you remember the movie Fight Club?
Yeah.
The guy would go to his happy place, and it ironically for our conversation, there
Yes,
there
a little bit
there were
different.
penguins, but so what you are doing in a way is, it's almost as if you're leaving the body for just a minute, going into that point of time, that memory, and living there for a little while. And now, do you stay there until you feel the pain again, or do you stay there just until you feel good again, and then you come back to the ice?
Do you know that feeling when you're shivering, and then you take a deeper breath, and the shivering is the end of the shivering. You will not shiver,
Right,
because of the breathing so very deep, and everything runs out of you and so on. And that's also the moment when I'm doing that. I breathe out and breathe strong, and I feel that, and I see that, and I go over. So it's not the pain is only a feeling. It hurts, yeah, but hey, what's on?
So you
Go
are
with
in
that.
your emotional state until you feel that relaxed feeling, that
Yeah.
and then you can be in the present. You can talk to the people.
Yes.
Okay, that
Make
makes a lot of
jokes.
sense. Yes.
Make jokes.
It's important. I can't tell people how important it is to laugh. It's so important. So that is I love that. And that's something that, there's a lot of different schools of thought when it comes to, I don't care what it is, basketball or football or, or ice bathing or breath work or whatever. And there are a lot of people that say that you should not try to escape the moment, that you should try to focus. But I love how, obviously it's working for you. I think that's amazing, because the power of an emotion, and you're using those powerful emotions of love, like whenever your child was born, and those are really life-changing moments that brings you out of this moment of, it's physical pain that, intellectually, it will pass, but you've got to make it through. So that's beautiful. Now, a lot of people are going to ask, they'll hope that I ask about breathing. I think Wim Hof, he's definitely made ice bathing much more popular now than ever before.
Sure. Yes.
And, cold exposure. And of course, that's how I got into it. I never even knew that it could possibly be a thing. Why would anybody do that? It sounds crazy. And so I struggled a lot with it. I've always struggled. Even to this day, it's something, even after years of cold training, I am very careful, because I've pushed myself too far. Now, a lot of people ask me, and I give my advice, and they ask, other cold trainers, well, how do you breathe whenever you're in the cold? Is there any kind of a special breathing that you have, or is there any kind of advice that you would give someone whenever they're learning to breathe? No.
When I trained the people, then I always said, cool down, breathe in your belly and not in your chest.
There you go.
That's important, because when you're breathing your chest, that the brain thinks he had to run away, because it's And then when you breathe in your belly, and you could do that, then you could stand much more longer in the cold water.
Yes.
I trained in 2017. I trained for the World Championship in Coomer, and they told me that we had to jump in, like the normal competitor in swimming did that, and I trained that the whole winter.
Yeah.
And then they said me, no, that was a joke. We're normally starting from the water. But I trained that the whole winter.
So you were ready. You were ready for it. Wow. But that's a cruel joke,
Yeah, for sure. But I trained that was a good thing, because I trained that to jump in.
Yeah.
And and trained so long that I can breathe in my belly when I jumped in.
Yeah.
So that was very hard, really.
Well, I
But
love that
I
you're
learned
saying
that.
that. I love that you're saying that, Joseph, because um, that's the advice that I always give people. And I think a lot of people are really disappointed when I give them that advice because they
Mm,
hope that there's some kind of a special, you
mm,
hold it for this long or you breathe this hard
yeah,
and
yeah,
I always say, just try to calm down. And that's the best thing you can do. So
yes.
like you said, breathe in the belly, in through your nose is something I
Mm,
always advise, and just really try to slow the breath down. Like you said,
mm,
reduce, like, try to keep that heart rate, keep it at a reasonable pace.
mm.
So it's really awesome for me to hear some of the things that I figured out, coming
Yeah,
from
yeah.
from the master himself now,
Ah,
um,
wow.
but it's one of those things that sometimes it's the simple things that
Yeah.
really do the most for a person. So for those of you guys who are watching, it's something that I have found. And then of course, Joseph, 2.5 hours in an ice bath, over 2.5 hours. I would count every single second like they did, like I was just reading, and 58 seconds,
Mm.
um, you
But
know,
when I tell you something,
yeah,
I'm allowed to tell you something. I
yeah.
think in next June 2021,
Hmm.
I will be in Las Vegas and we'll do the 3 hours.
On this show, you heard it
Yeah,
first.
yeah,
Well,
for sure.
okay, in June of next year, I'm going to
Yes.
do everything I can to be
Mm.
there, Joseph.
No, for sure. Good.
I'm
Yeah.
going to try everything I can. I've been wanting to go back to Las Vegas. I haven't been there in a while, and
Oh, really?
I
Hmm.
would love to see you break your own world record by a
For
half
sure.
hour. A
Yeah.
half hour.
Yeah. Why
So
not?
I love your attitude, my friend. So you're gonna just really raise the bar. Before you, it was less than 2 hours, right? Or it was right around 2 hours. What was the
Yes. One
and
hour, 54 minutes,
okay. And then
something
you're
about that.
saying, okay, let's go ahead and make it 3 hours. That
Yeah.
is amazing. Now, I'm going to come back to the ice cream that you had after training. And I will say this, I'm an ice cream. I'm just addicted to ice cream myself. I probably eat it too much. But okay, so after you got out of this world record holding, you just broke the world record. You have a beer.
Yeah.
What kind of beer did you have, first of all? Just
Oh,
whatever they handed you.
just yeah, yeah, for sure. The mayor of the city brought it to me.
Oh, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Well, my birthday is Friday, so I'm gonna have some beers for my birthday. I was gonna have to raise whatever kind of. I will raise a glass of beer to
Oh,
you
this week, this week.
this week. Yeah, so on Friday I'm
Oh,
turning 40.
fantastic. Mm.
So yeah, so I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm having some beers. But so you had a beer, you had ice cream.
Mm.
I mean, what do you do the rest of the day after you break the world? I mean, I wonder what that feels like. It's like, well, let's see. I put my name into the history books.
Mm.
Well, I guess what do I do for dinner now? I guess what do you do? I mean, after that, did
We
you?
were drinking.
Okay,
I was drinking beer with the friends,
okay,
with the team and so on, and
celebration.
we had
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Now, do you
Until
feel
3 o'clock in the morning, I think. Or so.
you're my kind of guy, my friend? Oh, so yeah, I got to get over there to Vienna. Or I
Party
got to,
time.
yeah, I got to. Okay, Vegas is. You're gonna love Vegas if you
Okay.
like to party. That is like
Yeah.
that's what Vegas is all about. But okay, so when it comes to cold exposures, there are some questions that I know some of my viewers are going to want me to ask you, and so I get these questions a lot of times. And I could give answers, but today I've got the world record holder on the podcast, so I'm really excited. So one of the things that people, and we've covered this one, so we don't have to spend much time on it. But one of the things that people often do ask me is how to. They go outside. They're trying to do. It's getting cold here in the United States. It might be like this morning, it was maybe -2 Celsius. It might,
Mm-hmm.
on some days it'll be 0 or 1. They go outside, and I always recommend a person just feel the air, just go out into nature and just kind of feel what it feels like. And a lot of people say, I would do that, Jesse, but I start shivering so bad that I just can't stand it. So do you have any advice for people when it comes to shivering?
Yeah, I think when it comes to shivering, that's you should not go as far. Yeah, but shivering is a good thing, and important is the shivering is important because your body learns to warm up by himself. So
Yes.
that's important, and you should do the cold showers. That's very good. That's important. Or cool packs.
Mm-hmm.
Put cool packs in your hands or on your legs,
Mm-hmm.
on your belly. So when you're watching TV, put them out and put it on your body. Or when you go out, never wear too much warm clothes.
Yeah.
Or open it when you're in the car, or open it when you're in the underground. Open
Mm-hmm.
your clothes and let the air inside. And when you go out, close it. Yeah, but let more cold air on your body.
Just
And
naturally, just get more in
yes,
your life.
and take more natural products by eating more fish,
Mm.
less on meat,
Mm-hmm.
more vegetables. But it's important what your body wants to have.
Yeah.
Sometimes people they will not eat meat or fish or vegetables. They're more on that noodles and so on. But
Yeah.
you have to find out what's good for you on your body. And
Yeah.
when you decide that that's good for you, your body will react also.
And
And
that's
when you do the
something.
cold,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
together, so your body came in a new status. You feel easier, and also the thing with the cold. But some people it will work faster, but
Mm-hmm.
some people it will go slower. So
Yeah.
that's normally.
Now you bring up
Don't smoke.
diet.
Don't
You bring up.
smoke. And don't smoke.
Yeah. Well, and now
Mm,
you bring up diet though, and this is a question that I think people look at this, and I like the way you say it. Think about what your body needs and eat for
mm.
that. What kind of a diet do you have a specific kind of a diet that you follow, or?
I'm more on the vegetable side and
Mm-hmm.
meat side, and also fish.
Yeah.
I do not eat so a lot of sweet things or noodles. It's not
Mm-hmm.
so mine.
Mm-hmm.
But next year I will also swim the North Channel again,
Yeah.
so I need more carbs.
You will
Yes,
need some
for
more
sure.
carbs. Yeah.
But I do it more with vegetables, and I'm doing some supplements
Mm-hmm.
from Finland.
Okay.
They're a good product, which I'm working a lot with blueberries because I love them, and
And
they
they're
have
good
so
for
many
you.
energy.
Yeah.
And I worked a lot with them, and also cranberries and and so things. And these supplements from Finland,
Yeah.
they have everything inside, and it comes from north of the North Pole area,
Oh, really?
and they only have 170-day sun, and this flowers and the thing, and
Oh,
they need
wow.
all the energy for doing that in a very short time, so that they get berries and that all.
I am going
And so they
to
have.
have to find out what this is called.
I will send it to you.
Yeah.
Arctic Nutrition,
Arctic
and
nutrition.
it's very common, and also in Austria and in Germany at the moment.
That's
And in Finland, it's normal, but yeah, you will see.
I
I
will
will
put
send
that
you
in
a
the
link
show
with.
notes for everybody watching. And
Yeah, probably some
yeah,
are interested for that. It's really interesting.
maybe you can
But
represent
on the
them.
packages, it's everything on Suomi language, Finnish language. I couldn't read that
Oh,
all, but
perfect.
yeah,
Perfect. Yeah, I don't need to know what it is. I'll just
yeah,
I'll
I
say
love it.
Joseph said it's good. I'm going to take it. And so
Yeah,
as far as that's but as far
but I
as
will have them with in Las Vegas. I will have them
yes.
with, so everyone
Oh,
can
great,
try.
great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, I'll be able to get on them before June. I'll start taking them tomorrow if I can. I'll just get out in the ice bath. A few more questions, and then I want to respect your time. I really appreciate you taking time out for this today. It's the people that are watching probably can notice I'm all like, whoa, I'm gonna talk to Joseph. But as far as just some basic tips for do's and don'ts, when it comes to cold exposure, cold swimming, things, any do's and don'ts, any things that you learned the hard way? Or
Yeah, normally you say you never should go in the cold alone. Yes.
Yeah.
But when I didn't go alone, I never will do it because no one wants to go with me. So make it as safe as you can when you go alone.
Yes.
Know the place, know what happened in the water. Is it dangerous there or not? Don't jump in.
Yeah.
Take a bow with you and make all safe. Put your clothes, take bright clothes. Don't take anything which you have to close. You need your fingertips and so on. So open your shoes, put your socks there, put your tea a little bit open if you like to drink a tea, and don't make the tea too warm because you cannot hold it when you're shivering. You're burning your fingers. So,
right. Good thinking there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that because I had often burned my finger a little bit. So learning by doing, and
that's awesome.
Don't go alone. And I'm doing often in the night. So also in the night, take care of what you're doing. Do a step less than one step too much. So if you don't feel safe in that moment, don't risk anything. That's important. But sometimes risk really something. When you know, okay, it's a safe area, then do some risky things because then you open your mind for a very hard thing. But put it in a safe way. Yeah. I'm doing sometimes things nobody should do that. I'm swimming in winter across the river Danube, and there are a lot of ships normally, and the temperature is about 2 degrees, and it's night, it's dark, but I need that swimming a channel because on the channel there are so many mystery things what could happen, and you had to train very hard, but do it in a safe way and listen on your body. Your body gives you it's like a mirror. See in that mirror and learn from every day. Every day can be different to another. So listen on your body. Your body knows what to do.
I love that. I'd like to end on that note because that's something I found to be true, and it's something everybody I talk to who's accomplished these great feats has told me. And so listen to your body.
You're in a good way. You're in a good way.
That's true. so thank you so much, Josef, for being on my podcast. Guys, make sure to check the links below. Josef, is there, of course, now we know we're all going to be waiting for June, and we're going to be looking forward to seeing you break that record because we know you're going to be able to do it. So we're all cheering you on. I will have your Instagram, if that's okay with you, in the show notes, and people can follow you on Instagram. Is there any other? I
will send you also my Facebook link, and I'm on LinkedIn also.
Okay.
If you have something, you can ask me. I'm open for everything.
Awesome.
So and then when you come to Austria,
yes,
call me. We will go for a swim for sure.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great. Well, thanks.
We can do that also. I don't know. In Las Vegas, they haven't got a cold water.
In Las Vegas, it's a desert. Yeah, it's hot.
I was speaking with the owner of the Flamingo Hotel.
Okay.
And he said when I'm in Las Vegas, I should come to their hotel because they have a good pool there. And I said, is it cold enough for me? And he said, okay, when you come, and we'll make it cold for you.
They're gonna have to put a lot of ice in that pool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Ice Flamingo.
Yeah, you'll be the Ice Flamingo. Yeah. Well, again, thanks guys for watching. Thank you so much, Josef, for being here. Guys, if you haven't joined the Patreon club, check it out. It's in the link below. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, go ahead and do so. And don't forget to go out there and be kind to one another.